Thank you very much. All right. Now, it's my turn to introduce a good friend of mine. I first, yeah, you can sit back down, that's cool. You can dim the house lights, that part, so. I first met Ralph Nader. His campaign manager is actually I'm the half Kenyan Harvard graduate from Illinois who's not running for president this year. So his campaign manager is actually a classmate of mine, and she called me up one day and said, "I'm in town with Ralph Nader. Would you like to hang out?" I'm like, "I would love to hang out with Ralph Nader. That sounds fantastic." So. But it was this event, this kind of like secret intelligentsia underworld event. I forget, Ralph told me earlier what it was. It's like where they take like the smartest kids from the smartest schools, and for 3 or 4 days they put them in a hotel and at some conferences with, you know, the overachievers. Your Ralph Naders, the woman who won the Iditarod, you know, like they're, you know, like the power forward from the Portland Trail. They're like all in this room, like so that's when we first met Ralph, and at the time I told him about an issue that was the South Central Farm in Los Angeles, and the South Central Farm was this amazing place in the middle of the most destitute area of LA in South Central. This huge, glorious and beautiful farm, which it was maybe a mile by a mile, where the local people in the community there grew their own produce and grew it for the people of the community. It was a place which was beautiful and safe, and kids could play there. And some billionaire was going to bulldoze the whole thing because the farmers, you know, the farmers couldn't afford the $17 million he was demanding for the property so he could make it into warehouses. I told Ralph about that, and of course, Ralph said, "Well, I'm going to do what I can." So within 24 hours, Ralph had somehow sidled up next to the mayor of Los Angeles and had given him hell for his not supporting the South Central farmers, and just and then came to the farm, you know, the next day, and you know, and gave a speech there, and spoke to the farmers there and the supporters and the media, and just made a lot of time in his schedule to help, because people there needed help. And that's what his entire career has been like, and that's why it is his uncompromising dedication to human rights, to economic justice, and to the truth that has made me a fan of Ralph Nader for decades. And so it is, and while the South Central Farm was eventually, the mayor chickened out and the billionaire pulled the trigger, it was bulldozed under, it's just, it demonstrates the tenacity that we must have. On some days, the South Central Farm is bulldozed, but on other days, Iraq Veterans Against the War are into the DNC presenting their demands. So Ralph's career has been one about keeping the faith and about fighting the power and fighting injustice wherever it rears its ugly head. Whether it's whether it's in your home, whether it's in your school, whether it's in your community, or whether it's in your country or the world at large. And so it is an honor for me to introduce my good friend and presidential candidate, Ralph Nader.